Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our 8th annual State of the Schools program. My name is Nan Dill, and I'm proud to be serving as the president of the Marymount City Schools Board of Education. Tonight we come together to talk about our schools and the experience we are so fortunate to provide every student who walks through our doors. It's the experience that not only defines our school district, but also our community. My hope is that by the end of tonight, you'll share in my excitement and pride for the work that our students and staff are doing every day, and that you'll be energized about the work ahead of us as we come together to ensure our children are getting the best educational experience possible. After all, that's what our community is known for. We're a community that always valued its schools and its children, and today is certainly no exception. Again, thank you for participating in tonight's event, and I hope you enjoyed the program.
Experience. What a powerful word. It's something that evokes a feeling and sticks with you as a memory. Experience. It's not a single event, not even a few events. Rather, experience is every encounter, every interaction, every activity bottled up, understood, and remembered. Philosopher Immanuel Kant once said, "It is beyond a doubt that all our knowledge begins with experience." And in the words of Julius Caesar, experience is the teacher of all things. Tonight, we define and celebrate our experience. The feelings, the moments, the opportunities that make Marymount City Schools so unique and special. This is the Marymount Experience defined.
So I want to talk a little bit about your experiences here in the Marymount City School District. And as you think back on your time here, what in your mind makes the Marymount School District so special?
I would say there's a unique combination here with academic excellence on the one hand, then also, as we discussed earlier, being able to participate in various extracurricular activities, not just limited to one area.
And I think one thing that we see when we talk about Marymount that you don't find, anywhere else in the city is it's the Marymount City School District. You always talk about Marymount as the district. It's not just Marymount High School that you want to send your kids to. You want to send them to Marymount City Schools, and that's because they all are so cohesive,
And going off of what Henry said, I think going further with community, there's a sense of community amongst the students, the parents, the faculty, and the staff. You can see it in sporting events and musical programs, even when it comes to applying for college and graduate schools with recommendations.
So we hear a lot from graduates that when they leave us, they feel like they were better prepared than any of their peers that they start interacting with in college. Would you guys say that that was your experience?
I think Marymount students are so successful because they leave with a passion for learning. The way that the teachers help you learn makes you want to continue learning when they're not there.
From the time you enter really into middle school, our teachers at Marymount are forcing us to think about what we want to do after we leave. Not just where you want to go to university, but what do you want to study? What do you want to be?
A lot of people at my university were stunned to know that I went to a public school. They were blown away by how prepared I was coming from a public school into my university. And normally the type of people that they were acclimated with from public schools weren't as well prepared as what you'd see from Marymount. And it really, as a public school student in a college where I was, it put me head and shoulders above the rest.
So it's your turn to give us some advice. If you were going to talk to your teachers or your principals and say, hey, keep doing this, or it's really important to do this, what advice would you give to us?
I think one piece of advice we could give the staff and the teachers here would be to encourage students to do something outside of the norm. I think every student, or a lot of the students, they participate in athletics and they go to class and they do some extracurricular activities, but I'd encourage, the high school students now and the faculty to urge students to do something out of the ordinary. Go do research at one of the many hospitals near here. Go and do an internship at a company that you're interested in. Contact P&G. something that sets you apart from your peers, definitely at that next level in college.
I would encourage the teachers to teach something new or something that the students won't expect, because what I learned is I found out I was really good at building 3D printers and putting things together and taking them apart, and I never would have known that if I hadn't just assembled the 3D printer in the library, and that changed what my major was and who I am now becoming.
I think my advice would be, and it's vague, it's change. It's not saying that anything's wrong, but it's, as an alumni, you come back and you get jealous of what the next class has. You see something new. You want to be on the breaking edge. You want to be the trailblazer. Find ways to be different. Find ways to go out and be a leader in the city. So, don't be afraid to step forward and find out what can make Marymount totally different. It's only going to make the previous classes more jealous of what they didn't have access to.
Wow, good stuff, and a big thank you to our alumni who came back to talk to me about their experience here in the Marymount City Schools. Well, welcome to our State of the Schools program. I appreciate you taking the time to join us online. My name is Stephen Eastep, and I am the proud superintendent of the Marymount City Schools, and my hope is that when you conclude our program that you too will be even more proud of our school district. We would like for you to be engaged as you participate, and you can download an engagement guide right on our website, marymontschools.org, for more information and to jot some notes as you participate in the State of the Schools program. We would also like your feedback after you watch the program, and you'll see the link to access the survey on each of the slides as you watch the program. So we're here to talk about our school district, and there is just so much that I could talk about. So many great things happen in our classrooms each and every day, and so obviously I can't talk about everything, but what I do want to spend our time talking about is defining for you what makes the Marymount City School District unique and such a special place to be a part of. It's what we call the Marymount experience. And I'm going to define this experience through 6 broad themes. But before I start, I want to share just a couple thoughts with you about experience, or perhaps some thoughts about what happens when we have repeated exposure to experience. When we're exposed to something, an experience for the first time, it evokes a great feeling. It feels pretty special. But then with repeated exposure, something happens. In the words of the Heath brothers, the experience becomes a script for what we do and how we do it. It's just what we expect. And so therefore, it's easy to lose sight of how unique and excellent it is. That, of course, unless it is taken away or something changes. And so tonight, as we define the Marymount experience, it's important that we all step back and reflect and recognize that what we have here, our experience, is pretty special, and all of our community's children are just so fortunate to be a part of it. Because as the great Leonardo da Vinci once said, wisdom is the daughter of experience. And so, as I mentioned, I want to define the Marymount experience through 6 themes: excellent results, excellent value, amplified learning, strong community, continuous growth, and personalized opportunity. The Marymount City School District is defined by excellent results. In our recent community survey, nearly 90% of participants gave a total positive rating for the quality of education being provided. And nearly 80% of the respondents feel that the district is heading in the right direction. And our results support these beliefs. Academically, our students continue to perform at incredible levels. On nearly every metric, we are one of the best. On national benchmarks, we are well above state and national averages. Over the last 3 years, our students' ACT composite score has averaged 26. That's 4 points above the state average and 5.1 points above the national average. Our students perform extremely well on advanced placement exams. Last year, we had 93 advanced placement scholars, and 90% of our students who took advanced placement exams scored a 3 or better, meaning that they were eligible for college credit. And the College Board named the Marymount City School District as one of the top school districts in the United States and Canada, and placed the district on the Advanced Placement District Honor Roll for its exemplary performance. We can look to Newsweek or U.S. News and World Report rankings and consistently find Marymount High School in the top 1% of all high schools in the state and in the top 1.6% of all high schools in the nation. On state tests, we also do well. Our students' performance last year places us in the top 3% of all schools in the state. We were one of only 3 school districts in the county to earn all A's and B's on the state report card. And both Marymount Elementary and the Marymount City School District were recognized by the Ohio Department of Education with the Momentum Award for excellent results in student academic growth from one year to the next. And by the way, this is the 2nd year in a row that Marymount Elementary has earned this honor. 91% of our graduates from the class of 2017 are off to college this year, taking with them $6.9 million in earned scholarships. And there are other academic metrics to celebrate. Our student writers consistently perform well in the annual Power of the Pen competition. In fact, last year, Marymount Junior High School placed 5th out of 260 schools. We're one of the best in business education. This year, Marymount High School ranks 7 in the nation for students scoring in the top 20 on rigorous exams to test their business knowledge. We had 14 elementary students compete in the Regional Science Fair last year, with 2 moving on to the state competition. And 4 of our Destination Imagination teams qualified to participate in the Global Finals this past spring. But it's not just in academics. We can look to our arts program, a robust program, grades kindergarten through 12th grade, and every year we have over 50 student performances. We can also celebrate our successes in athletics. Our boys lacrosse team were state champs last spring. We also had a state champion swimmer, and all of our teams compete strong and represent us well in the Cincinnati Hills League and beyond. But let us not forget that these results don't just happen. A huge thank you to our outstanding teachers, staff, coaches, and yes, our students who each and every year go above and beyond to garner such excellent results. The Marymount City School District is defined by excellent value, and we are so fortunate to get the financial support that we do from our community, and it's something that we don't take for granted. We recognize that every resident in our school district makes financial sacrifices to live here and to be a part of this experience. We also recognize that with this investment comes high expectations, and we work hard every day to meet and exceed these expectations. There is great value in the rigorous curriculum and course offerings that we offer our students. We have 20 advanced placement courses available to our high school students, preparing them for the next level of their education and keeping them competitive with their peers locally, nationally, and globally. This number of courses is exceptional given the size of our high school. We offer 25 elective courses at Marymount Junior High School and 40 elective courses at Marymount High School, creating opportunities for students to explore interest and enhance their learning. We are one of a few school districts offering a comprehensive world language program beginning in our elementary schools, with students getting exposure to both Mandarin Chinese and Spanish language and culture. We also have a district-wide STEM program in all of our schools, helping our students develop the problem-solving and critical thinking skills that we know are so important.
STEM is an acronym that stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and a lot of times that is geared towards STEM education, so it would be in reference to any type of class that falls into those 4 categories of science, technology, engineering, and math. So at the elementary school, they have several STEM-based explorations that they offer, so students can kind of start to build some interest in things at a young age. At the junior high, we have to include the traditional science and math classes. They're also involved in the STEM programs, as well as a lot of the elective classes we have there. We have Make It, we have Program U, I teach automation, robotics, medical detectives, and app creators. Those all kind of fall in the realm of STEM for our junior high level students. And then at the high school, we have, again, those traditional science and math classes. The biology, chemistry, and physics department do a great job of building those foundational science skills for students, as well as incorporating a lot of projects into their curriculum. I think that STEM benefits students in education because it promotes the growth mindset. So whether they want to go into a STEM-related field as an adult or not, it helps them learn at a really young age that failure is okay, and not only is it okay, it's important. It teaches them that they can start again, that they can try over, that they can learn from their mistakes, and I think those types of skills are really important in any field that you go into, and not even that in your professional field, but in your personal life as well. That kind of growth mindset, learning from your mistakes, is something that's really important, and it's reinforced a lot in STEM classes. Having STEM program K through 12 makes Marymount exceptionally unique in the education field. The last district that I worked at, we had junior high and high school science and math classes that you would traditionally think of. We never had the types of opportunities that the students have at Marymount, and I think that is not only going to be unique for them while they're in high school, it's going to carry through for the rest of their life. Having that edge over the competition in what is an extremely rapidly growing career field is going to be very beneficial for our students.
Financial accountability is a priority for us, and that's why we were thrilled that in our recent community survey, an overwhelming majority of respondents gave a total positive rating related to the district spending this money in an effective and responsible manner. We have worked hard to keep budget growth minimal. In fact, we have kept our budget growth to an average of 2% over the past 4 years. We're also a school district that commands top home values. Over the past 3 years, property values have increased an average of 7.6% in the Marymount City School District, while property taxes have increased an average of 2%. And when it comes to tax rate, we are in line with other high-performing school districts in the county, like Madeira and Wyoming, when it comes to the dollars of property taxes going to the school district. This is in the face of a 19% decrease in state funding over the last year to the Marymount City Schools, and this is something that not every district in the county is dealing with. The last time that our school district asked for more operating dollars from our community was in November of 2014. And at that time, we were hopeful that we would make these dollars last for 3 years before needing to return to the community to ask for additional funding. Through strong fiscal management, we will make these dollars get us to 4 years before we will need to seek additional funding. This is a necessity if we want to maintain the excellence that we currently have in our school district. Quite honestly, the biggest threat to our future fiscal stability is with our high school facility needs. Right now, we're making Band-Aid fixes, and we can't continue this if we want to protect what we have, and I'll return to this topic in a bit. We will be putting together a community finance committee soon to take a closer look at the district's financial needs and gather input as we get closer to making a decision this spring. The Marymount City School District is defined by amplified learning. It was 2 years ago that we launched Warriors Beyond, and its purpose was to amplify our curriculum, and that it has done. At our elementary schools, our 5th and 6th graders choose from 24 different explorations to join every Monday morning. These are learning experiences like service projects, hiking, Shark Tank product development, and chandelier sculpting, just to name a few. And at our junior high, our students choose from 72 different expeditions to join every Friday afternoon. Experiences like Intro to Woodworking, The Art of Glass, and Breakout, which uses collaboration and problem-solving skills to create their own breakout room. And then there are the travel opportunities. We had over 10% of our high school students travel internationally last spring and summer, and 118 of our 8th graders spent a few days in Washington, D.C. exploring our nation's capital, and these wonderful experiences will continue this year. I can't wait for the start of our high school intercession program this spring. We will be joining an elite group of public and private high schools in offering this unique experience to our high schoolers. Students have chosen from 27 different experiences and will spend a week this spring exploring and learning what an exciting opportunity that will be. Last year, we amplified learning at the high school with the launch of master classes, and this is an opportunity for the students to develop the curriculum. Students are encouraged to tell the instructor what they want to learn during the classes in this series. Take a look.
The Masterclass program was created in order to give students choice in their school day, in order to help them develop their interests and their passions, and enable them to study something that they might not have the chance to study through our regular courses or elective courses. The curriculum is created by the students themselves, so they get to decide not only what they want to study, but how they want to study it and how they want to be graded on it. So it's a constant process of evaluating goals and reflecting on what they've done and how they want to move forward. So there is no set curriculum for any of these classes. There are checkpoints, and the students have to keep a log of what they're doing, and they have to be able to demonstrate their learning throughout the quarter, but there is no set curriculum. They get to decide that themselves.
I'm doing sign language, so I come in every day and teach myself how to do sign language. At first I didn't really know what it was. I know it was self-taught, but I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And when I started actually teaching myself sign language, it was harder than I thought it was because I didn't really understand how to teach myself. But then I found a program where every day it taught me new things, so I'm kind of getting used to it now.
We're basically able to prepare ourselves for things that we want to do in the future. Rather than doing things like core classes, we can go in and figure out things we want to do. Like with me, I'm doing fitness because I want to be a personal trainer.
I'm an advocate for the Masterclass program because I think it is important for students during their day to be able to explore something that they're very passionate about and to be able to pursue that passion and develop it, and to be able to learn in a way that is suitable for them and be able to do something that they feel is of importance to them.
But we're not just amplifying learning outside the classroom, we're also amplifying learning inside the classroom. And quite frankly, a lot of this is keeping up with technology and the new opportunities that it affords us in making learning better and more robust. Like it or not, we have all been augmented by technology. Have you ever had that feeling when you can't find your cell phone, or worse yet, you realize you went to work without it? I know I have, and if you join me in that, you have been augmented by technology. It's become a part of our lives. And for our students, it's not just part of their lives, it always has been. In fact, today's students are not just digital natives, they're artificial intelligence natives. Most of our students have never known life without being able to talk to Siri or Alexa. And they expect more than what the traditional paper textbook can give them. Watch this.
Here's kids who are doing just about everything earlier these days. We're going to show you some YouTube video here of a 1-year-old who is happily and expertly playing with the iPad. Apparently knowing just what to do. Then she tried a real magazine, brick and mortar magazine. She's trying to pinch and move and swipe the real magazine. Doesn't work quite the same way.
Technology is transforming teaching and learning in ways that we couldn't have even imagined 5 or 10 years ago, and we owe it to our students to keep up. And this is why technology integration into all aspects of our instruction is such a priority.
Teaching and learning is totally different today. It used to be that the teachers would stand in front of the classroom and give the information to the students, but now information is at their fingertips. So the teacher has to act as the coach and help them process and analyze and apply that information to real-world problems.
Our students are constantly living in technology. So they're waking up in the morning and they're putting out their notifications, they're putting out their status updates, they're customizing what music they're listening to. So when we come to school, we don't necessarily want them to power down, we want them to actually personalize more. So educational technologies allow them to bring in their world into the education world.
Technology is amazing, and I think education in general is going to be forced to recognize the fact that it's amazing. So we have access at our fingertips to vast amounts of information and resources, and that allows us to teach in innovative ways. I organize the class with technology, so they have access to all my information. They share files with me in Google Classroom. They turn in their assignments electronically, which allows me to edit them in an on-time manner. They play games that allow them to interact. It lets me easily scaffold up and down for different students, and it allows me to take my standards and make them rigorous and enhance them and make them real world and relevant to the students.
What makes Marymount unique is that we focus on excellent instruction. We're not just bringing in tech for tech's sake. The instruction is primary, the tech is just a crucial secondary. You need to have it to make sure that our kids are ready for tomorrow, but instruction is at the heart.
You've got what is the Marymount experience, and it's being at the forefront of a lot of things, but not letting go of tradition and what makes us who we are. Students are learning skills that they might not learn until later on in their academic career, into college or their profession. We are really preparing the leaders for tomorrow, and it's incredibly impressive. And I'm so proud of our students and the ride that they've gone along with us.
Next year, we will begin the transition from BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device, to a one-to-one program. So what's the difference? Well, in a BYOD program, students either bring their own device or they rent one from the district, meaning that at any given time in a classroom there will be many different types of devices. But in a one-to-one setting, each student is issued the same type of device as the classroom teacher and is already loaded with software and apps that will be needed to enhance learning and will all be supported by the school district. So the student then has that device that they can use both inside and outside the classroom. So what having common devices in a classroom ensures is that all students can access the learning software and programs that our teachers want to use, and it allows students and teachers to seamlessly collaborate with each other and share information. It also makes it easier for the district to troubleshoot and provide for a safe internet environment. And through our partnership with Apple and its very competitive lease program for schools, this move from BYOD to one-to-one will be accomplished without spending additional dollars, and in fact over time it will actually save the district money while creating better learning experiences for our students. We also soon will be launching a single sign-on platform, something that I know our parents and our students will love. No more trying to remember dozens of different passwords to access school applications. Now you'll have one username and password to get you everywhere you need to go. And our new district app will soon be released, so school district news, calendars, important information right at your fingertips. And look for more information from us very soon about all of that. The Marymount City School District is defined by strong community, and I want to share a statistic with you, and this has remained pretty steady for the past few years. About 80% of our parents volunteer in some capacity in our school district, and this is just remarkable, but it illustrates the strong community that defines who we are and that all of us are invested in the Marymount City School District. We have tremendous support organizations, and without them, we could not create the Marymount experience. It's our Arts Association, Athletic Boosters, School Foundation, school PTOs, and our local Kiwanis Club that provide the extras that we just can't provide if we want to keep our school district budget in check. Indeed, strong communities and strong schools go hand in hand, and we are just so fortunate to have a community that recognizes this. So as longtime residents of the Marymount City School District, why do you see the schools as such an integral part of our community?
I think we're talking about a head and heart subject. I have the good fortune of having lived around the country, finally settling in Marymount when my kids were at the important stage of their life. And I have found that what I've heard said before is true. It takes a village to raise a family and children. I believe that they're our future, and I really believe the way we do it in Marymount is the key to the future. I just wish, though, everybody else could do it the same way. Proud to be here.
We understand the economics, certainly, that the quality of the Marymount schools has been integral to the maintaining the value of our real estate, and that certainly is an important component. But moreover, the quality of the schools. We have choices in this day of public school, private school, city, suburb, etc. And the Marymount City School District made it very easy with its quality to choose Marymount.
So you no longer have children in our school district, but yet all of you continue to be tremendous supporters of what we do here in the Marymount City Schools. Why is that?
I've had 5 kids who've gone through the school district here, and Marymount has done a wonderful job for them.
I strongly believe that education is the important part for the future of our children. We hear so much sometimes about the schools being so bad and things like that, but that's not true of Marymount, and I don't think it ever has been. And it's just a neat place to live that you know you're really helping the future citizens.
I believe in also in pay it forward. Our kids started in Marymount and finished in Marymount, and I know that over time there were families, men and women whose children had moved on, who gave their energy, time, effort, money, so that my children benefited. And I firmly believe that it's our responsibility to give that type of opportunity to the next generation. So I really believe in paying it forward.
So what do you see as the greatest strength of our school district?
I would offer the idea that it's big enough and it's small enough. I've lived in 5 different states, gone to 20 or more schools, now have 4 kids and potentially 13 grandkids that'll go through high school and college. And someplace in there, there's something that's special about this. We're big enough, we try hard enough that we have just about everything to offer. And we're small enough that people have a chance to do everything. I can't imagine a situation where a young person could have more opportunities to do more things, to learn more things than what we offer here in the Marymount school community.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's more and more unique in this day of specialization that we can still offer our kids the opportunities to experience more than just sports or more than just arts or more than just one sport. I used to love it when I would see a football player in his uniform playing the trumpet in the band at halftime of the football game. And there are not very many schools where there are those many different opportunities offered to the kids.
I think that the community involvement with the schools is something that has really impressed me over the years. You've got so many people that want to help out and give back to the schools and be involved and do things.
The district reaches out to each child as an individual. It's not that they're all, bright kids or they're all just have to follow along that line. There's programs out there and that they reach all kinds of kids. They don't have to be an athlete. They can be very into the arts, or if they have special needs. When I volunteer in the kindergarten room, there's people coming in and out to help individual students throughout the whole morning so that they get what they need.
So the school has really become that community meeting place that goes beyond what goes on in the school during the day, and I think that is so important.
And I just feel really good about the way we're trying to approach what needs to be done with our schools in the future. That nobody's trying to cram anything down our throat. We're working this process of how do we ensure our kids continue to get the best education. We're faced with a plant or building issue, and the way that we're approaching that just really feels good.
I agree with you.
The Marymount City School District is defined by continuous growth. 3 years ago, we began implementation of Destination 2026, where we set out to bring our vision of tomorrow to life. We recognize that if we are going to remain one of the best, and if we're going to continue to set our students up for success, that the status quo was just not going to be an option. And so Destination 2026 has become our roadmap, our strategic plan for growth and improvement. It basically pushes us to do 3 things: embrace growth, work smart, and create experience. And in just a few short years, we have already accomplished so much because of Destination 2026. Some I've already talked about, like Warriors Beyond, STEM, and our expanded world language opportunities, but there's been so much more. We now have a consistent framework for K-6 literacy and mathematics instruction. We offer instructional coaching for our teachers. We've implemented flexible learning spaces and collaboration furniture in many of our elementary and junior high school classrooms. We now have an Office of Learning Assistance at the high school to provide for additional academic support to our students, and we've launched a Global and Cultural Perspectives Committee in our schools. We've also dramatically increased the amount of professional learning opportunities for our staff. It's what we call the Marymount Academy.
Marymount Academy is a day for teachers. It's a day for us to refresh, be invigorated, collaborate, be together, share ideas, and a day for us to go to school.
We spend a lot of time and a lot of resources to send our teachers out to workshops, conferences, visit other schools, just to make sure that they're on top of what is best practice. Then, during our Marymount Academy time, they come back and share their learning with their colleagues.
The question today is, now that kids have all sorts of technologies and access outside of school, and they really have a lot of control and agency over the ways that they learn, what does that mean for us in schools? How do we have to reimagine our work to develop kids as learners and not necessarily knowers?
In the classroom, from the day to day, when you're preparing lessons, you may want to learn lots of new things to inspire you, but the reality is time is short, and you are trying to do all the things and provide feedback to your students and create great lessons. It's really hard to hit the pause button and learn something new that could inspire changing the way you do things and the way you do business. So taking these pauses so we can focus on ourselves as learners solely, it's really great, and it really helps refill the well when the well's running dry.
Being with my peers, who I may not normally see during the course of a school day, helps connect what I'm going to teach to the students as they age in the district from K to 12. Marymount Academy Days give us the tools that we need to put together experiences in our classrooms that'll help the kids get to where they want to go.
We always strive to work smart, create experience, and embrace growth. And we hope that from today's Tech Academy, our staff learns how to harness today's technology to do just that for their students.
Each of us is unique. We have interests, we have needs, and there is perhaps no place where recognizing and responding to this is more important than in school. And that's why we have a comprehensive data dashboard to monitor each student's academic performance on many different metrics. That's why we have an intervention coach who works with our teachers to study the data and to develop individual plans to support students who need additional support. This is why we have extensive mental health programming. Our partnership with MindPeace and Child Focus allows us to bring licensed therapists into our schools to help our students in need. We now have a signs of suicide screener in grades 8 and 10, and we have mindfulness activities during the school day in every building. We also offer a parent education series for parents to learn more about mental health and how to support today's students. Being personalized also means thinking about each student's future. I mentioned the launch of our intercession program a little earlier, and a key piece of this program is what we call experience-ships. And this is personalization at its best. Students tell us what they want to explore as a possible career interest, and then we develop an experience-ship so they can learn more. And I want to share just a few of these stories. This is Callie, Ellie, John, and Darren, and there's a few of our kids who are getting ready for some pretty remarkable experience-ships. Callie will be at the Greater Cincinnati American Red Cross learning about international services, volunteering, and fundraising. She also will be helping to organize a leadership academy for teenagers over the summer. Ellie will be with Dr. Ed Connor, a forensic psychiatrist with Connor and Associates, and she'll experience case investigations and court proceedings. And John and Darren will be with Wellington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and they'll be studying personal training and sports medicine. All good stuff. And another way that we personalize is through our College and Career Planning Center, a resource that's available for all of our students and their families throughout their time with us here in the Marymount schools.
The CCPC is the College and Career Planning Center, and it's really just a nice physical area for our students to come into to do college research, to meet with us counselors, to meet with college representatives, and work on any college and career planning that they have.
I really work in partnership with Amanda, the director of the College and Career Planning Center at Marymount, to assist students with the college search process. So things like an application workshop where we go over their essay and their application, as well as provide resources for those next steps to ensure that they are meeting deadlines and have that information that helps them make the decision on what's the best fit institution.
The parents, I think, have received invaluable support and resources and information that you cannot get on your own. You cannot find this stuff on your own. The CCPC guides you through this process. The counselors are at school with the children, knowing them from K through 12. It keeps us competitive with all the top schools. It's such a great support and resource center.
The advantage of having a program like the College and Career Planning Center at Marymount is that it provides resources for students to feel more comfortable in the college search process so that they can take ownership and really make it more about finding that best fit institution that's going to help them in the future.
It really is unique because many schools don't have this, and certainly not public schools. It's really interesting, sometimes when college representatives come in, this has happened more than once, they'll walk into our center and they'll look at me and they'll say, is this public or a private school? It's like they forget. Then it's a nice segue into me telling them about our CCPC and the wonderful support we have in our community and with our foundation. But having a dedicated space as well as a dedicated counselor for that, and just the support we have here is unique. We're very fortunate to have all of that.
Having the CCPC makes Marymount unique because all of our students are so unique, and we're all so intelligent, and we all have bright futures ahead of us. The CCPC really allows us to capture all of that, and it really allows us to be the best who we can possibly be.
So I do want to talk about our high school facility project and the work that we have in front of us as a community, because it really is all intertwined. If we don't take care of the serious issues that we are facing at our high school, we risk losing so much of the experience that I've been talking about tonight. And quite honestly, we will not be able to maintain the excellence that our school district is known for and so many of us are so proud of. Think of it this way. Our physical school buildings represent the foundation of our school district. Back in 2009, we took care of Marymount Elementary School, Terrace Park Elementary School, and Marymount Junior High School. But at that time, we did not take care of Marymount High School, and we need to now. The condition of Marymount High School represents a crack in the foundation of our school district. And without a solid foundation, we are putting the entire experience at risk. Because if we don't address it now, we're going to be forced to reallocate many of the operating dollars that we use to create the experience. All of the things above the foundation, the staff, the technology, the parents, the resources, dollars from here will have to go into the necessary repairs at our high school just to keep it safe and operational. and there is no zero-cost option. Third-party assessments show that we will need to allocate at least $1 million a year for the foreseeable future to handle the $12 to $14 million in repairs and replacements necessary at our high school, and the condition of the building speaks for itself. Plumbing and electrical systems are failing, sewage is backing up into the building, HVAC units aren't working, and those that are working are being controlled by an old DOS computer system. Roofs are leaking, the classrooms are small, most have no windows, hallways are narrow, and winding safety is a concern. But beyond all of this, we have to ask ourselves as a community, can we honestly convince ourselves that the students who are in our elementary schools today, that the students who are at Marymount Junior High School today can truly be served in the high school building as it exists today? The building is 50 years old, and think about how much has changed in 50 years. Cars aren't the same. They're safer, more efficient, full of so much more technology. The way we buy and listen to music certainly has changed, giving us more choice and flexibility. Booking travel is easier and faster. The telephone is with us everywhere now and brings us capabilities never dreamt of 50 years ago. And there's just no comparison between the computer of then and the computer of now and what we can do with it. Now, these two shouldn't look the same, but they do at Marymount High School. We're like a museum to what high school used to be like. And we're not paying attention if we don't recognize that teaching and learning has changed and the environments that our students and our teachers need also have changed. We have to really consider whether or not it makes sense to just keep band-aiding and dumping money into a building and a design footprint that just does not work anymore. Look around at other high schools, whether locally or nationally, and you're going to see the trends. Gathering and collaboration spaces for students to work together on projects. Dynamic science lab where students can research and investigate. Dedicated performance areas for students to embrace the arts and perform together. Lots of natural light to spark imagination, creativity, and feel good about being in school. And this isn't about glitz and glamour. It's recognition that what we're preparing our students for is so different from 10, 20, certainly 50 years ago. It's also recognition that what you see when you walk into a school building shows what a community values. And I know that what we value isn't reflected right now in what you see when you walk into Marymount High School. 50 years ago, it was the Industrial Revolution model. Straight rows, teachers as the great gatekeeper of knowledge, students memorizing facts and content, technology non-existent. Now it's about building skill, working collaboratively, going global. And yes, space does matter when it comes to creating opportunities for students to develop these skills. In the text, Make Space, How to Set the Stage for Creative Collaboration, authors Scott Doyley and Scott Withoff say this: we read our physical environment like we read a human face. The spaces we are in elicit feelings. It affects you. It impacts your mood. Let me show you what I mean. Think about the feeling that each of these spaces I'm about to show you elicits. A funeral home, a theater, being in the middle of Times Square, at a baseball stadium, the traditional classroom, or better, more creative learning spaces. And our high school space certainly elicits feelings in our kids. So you guys are here every day. Tell me what's not working at Marymount High School.
Every room in the high school seems to be a different temperature, and so I have to bring a coat and switch it on and off, keep taking it on and off through every class, and the cafeteria is cold, the Spanish room's hot, it's different in every part of the building.
My physics teacher has a blanket if you get cold in his classroom, because some days it's very cold, but then the next day it will be like a sauna, and it's really hard to focus when you're either freezing or you're too hot. The classrooms are triangles, so the smart board is on the flat side across from the point of the classroom. So if you're on the side towards one of the angles, then it's really hard to see the board because you have to be close to the wall to fit the desks in, but you also have to be able to see the board, and that's really hard because you see the board at an angle. So it just doesn't work the way our classrooms are. They should be more of a square or rectangle, not a triangle.
most of the classrooms don't have that many windows, and some of them don't have any at all. So like when you're in school for 7 hours a day and you sit with no sunlight, you can't learn as well. You can't focus as well as you'd like to.
The toilets don't flush a lot of the times. That's like a major issue. It's normally at least once a week that like either you're waiting in a 10-minute line or like you can't go in the bathroom because it's blocked off because it's like flooding into the hallway. It's really gross. I don't know. You just wait till you get home. That's the goal. Wait till you get home.
Or just sometimes you'll walk into the bathrooms, and the girls' bathrooms at least, and the smell is just terrible. The ventilation is so poor that even if you do have time to go to the bathroom and there isn't a 10-minute line, you can't breathe in there. And so you do just want to wait until you get home.
I think in some classes you'll have the network and Wi-Fi working perfectly and you can learn really easily, but then you go to other classes where the network connection is not so strong and that prohibits the learning.
There's like specific spots in the cafeteria, like where study halls is, and so like if you're in the beginning of the year, you get a random seat, so you can get lucky and get a seat that you actually can connect to the Wi-Fi, but sometimes you can sit in a seat all year that like you take 5 minutes trying to get on the Wi-Fi, and like you just can't get on the connection, so it's a problem.
For devices, they don't always last the whole day. There's not a ton of outlets. The Wi-Fi isn't consistent. And also just like some of the advanced like technology that schools that are paperless tend to use, we don't have that in our system yet, or really know how to use that. Just like with our smart boards, they're like a little glitchy and they're a little behind the times.
So we've talked a little bit about the lack of windows. Let's talk about how that makes you feel as a student to be here for the day with very few, if any, windows to look out of.
It makes me feel kind of like depressed in a way. We're learning all day and we're stuck inside of a school, and it feels really nice when you get outside, when you go home, but it's hard when you're learning all day.
I think it gets really frustrating when you when you come to school and it's dark, and then you get home and it's dark, and you're like, what did I just do all day? Like, I don't even know.
I have one class in the whole day where I have like a lot of windows, and that's my art history class, and it's first bell. And even though it's at 7:45 in the morning and I woke up like half an hour earlier, I'm probably the most energized in that class, just because it's not like I'm sitting in a dark room.
So let's talk about what the current high school doesn't have, that if it did would make learning better, learning easier.
A few years ago, we got this collaboration space that a lot of us here designed, and it's so fun. We have the high table with the outlets, we have the comfortable couches, and it's right near a giant window, so it's all great things, but that's the only collaborative space we have in the high school. I know the seniors, for the past maybe month in English, we've been in small groups every single day, and the classroom gets really loud, we get really distracted easily, and I think if we had more spaces to just break off and do things individually, with our small groups, that we would be a lot more productive in class and get a lot more done with the time that we have.
I think having an outdoor space would be really beneficial for us, because we could go out there and eat lunch out there and have classes go out there to collaborate on projects and get a breath of fresh air.
The furniture too in some of the classrooms is a little bit outdated, and I also think if we incorporated maybe some chairs on wheels or some high bar stools, I think that would really be beneficial, because instead of taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes to set up a classroom the way you need it, if you have chairs that rolled, we can set that up in 3 minutes and get on with class, and it doesn't impede what we're trying to learn.
So what do you want the public to know about what's happening inside Marymount High School?
So the high school was built in the 70s, and the learning style was very different than it is now. They had open classrooms. There weren't any walls between the classrooms, and now we've closed off the walls, but the walls are thin and you can hear other classrooms. And the way that our school is laid out is just not ready for the 21st century. We are working in groups, and we want to be in quiet spaces and not have to be able to hear other classrooms while we're taking a test. So we're just not ready for the 21st century and how we learn today.
Marymount has such great teachers. The students all really like each other. It's a great competitive environment where we all push each other to be our best. But the exterior and the interior of the school doesn't match the type of people that go here. And so I think it's time for a change. We look at Indian Hill, we look at Madeira, these schools with very similar demographics and similar kinds of teachers and students, and they are just thriving because they can breathe in their bathrooms, they all fit in their hallways, they all fit in their auditorium, because they have every advantage that we don't in this building right now.
I think we have really good academics and really good athletics here right now, but just think of how much better we could be if our facilities were helping us to go above and beyond where we're at right now.
I don't really think that anyone in this building or coming up through this building really wants to look back and say, wow, I could have done so much better in school and everything else if we had just had a better building, a better place that isn't going to impede our learning or anything like that.
I think Marymount has the potential to be like the best school in the state of Ohio. However, I think this building is limiting us and the potential we have. And so if we just update the building and fix all the problems that we've had, that we've reiterated here, I think the sky's the limit for the district.
You see, we need to envision what our students will be able to do with modern science labs that allow for advanced coursework, areas for project-based learning so that students can learn skills needed for life after high school and the workforce. Virtual reality immersive classrooms, collaborative studios, maker spaces, labs, outdoor spaces. It's how we will ensure that the experience we're all so proud of remains and is here for years to come to serve generations and generations of more students, and that we maintain our excellence. We have an important decision in front of us, and here's what we know. 71% of our community believes that we need to do something, and after an 18-month extensive engagement process, our Board of Education has listened to our community. We know that we have portions of the high school building that we can keep and that we can continue to use, and the community has told us that's what it wants. We know that making essential repairs needs to be a priority. That's what our community has told us. And we know that with renovations, expansions, and some replacements, we can make the academic areas and the performance spaces so much better for our students. What this means, though, is putting an end to the never-ending Band-Aids that are not an efficient use of resources. But it also means that we don't need to start from scratch with a brand new facility. Rather, our master facility plan will be a hybrid approach similar to what was done at Marymount Elementary and Terrace Park Elementary several years ago. In the coming months, we will be convening a community project team and finance committee to continue guiding us in our decision making, and we'll be sharing much more about this plan as well. But I can assure you now that this will be a plan that makes sense, reflects the wants of our community, is sensitive to the additional financial burden on our taxpayers, and most importantly, will meet the needs of students for generations to come. Thank you for participating in our State of the Schools program. A reminder that we do have a survey, and you can see the link here on your screen, that we would like for you to complete now that you have watched the program.